Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. I am going to be making a wine soap. I actually got this recipe from a book. It's called Natural Soap at Home by Liz McQuerry, if you want to check it out. I did actually scale this recipe up though to fit my mold and modified a few of the additives that she used because she uses a lot of clays and essential oils, and I didn't want to do that for my soap. So you might be asking yourself, what are some benefits of using wine? Wine has a lot of antioxidants in it, and it also contains fermented sugars, which are excellent sources of moisturizers for your skin. So I thought this would be fun, especially since I like to do a lot of recipes with replacements of part of the lye water or all of the lye water, such as milk, coffee, things of that nature. So the first part of making any soap with alcohol is to make sure that you boil the alcohol out or let it sit and evaporate. You want to make sure the total water or wine solution, however you decide to do it, you can sub out part of the wine for water if you'd like. Needs to be 11.4 ounces. And I had some troubleshooting that I'll share with you in a bit to show you later on in the video what I'm talking about. But you also want to, after you've boiled it, go ahead and pop it in the freezer for a while and make sure it freezes up. I think it takes about 4 to 6 hours for the wine to freeze, and it kind of gets more of a slushy mixture than a full hard ice cube. The next part you want to do is just measure out your oils, and this recipe is pretty simple. We're just using castor oil, olive oil, coconut oil, and cocoa butter today. While I'm melting down my oils, I'm going ahead and start adding the lye to my wine ice cubes. And I did do a replacement of 1 ounce of wine for actually 1 ounce of water, just so that the cubes would be a little bit harder. So you might want to do that for your soap as well. That's totally a personal option. Next, I kind of just wanted to show what colorants I was going to use today for the soap. The wine does make the soap overall pretty dark because I'm using a dark color wine, but I wanted it to have a nice red color and a nice purple color. So all the micas that I have are actually from Nurture Soap, and I really do recommend them. They perform really well in cold process soap. The fragrance oil that I'm using is Black Cherry Merlot from Crafter's Choice. Initially when I smelled this out of the bottle, it smells disgusting. It does smell very strong of alcohol in my opinion, but once I put in the soap itself, it started to smell a little lighter, and as it's curing, I'm noticing the more sweet notes of the fragrance oil are coming through, so it does smell more like a blackberry than it does so much of a wine fragrance. Overall, I would recommend it. It's, like I said, starting to smell much better. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about troubleshooting the soap. The first batch that I made of this was a complete disaster. I think some of the sugars, this was actually before I even added the fragrance oil to this batch, some of the sugars were causing acceleration from the wine. so it got really hard, as you can see, and thickened up super quick. The book recommended soaping at about 110 degrees is what I did. And I just think that was a little bit too warm. So if I would do this again, I would recommend soaping it at room temperature. And that's what I did the second time. I just took this soap though and put it in the mold. And then I came back to it a couple hours later and I cooked out all the lye because it wasn't going to be something that I felt comfortable using. And I still have to keep my eye on it to make sure I can use it later. If you're using the recipe from the book, I do want to point out that she does not talk about boiling the alcohol, and she only talks about putting it in the freezer. So that is one thing that she does differently, and perhaps she would have had different results with her wine soap. Again, it's something that I would recommend all of the soaps that I've done with beer. I always cook out the alcohol because it helps with things like acceleration. I think we just had this mess because of all the sugar in the wine. I did want to take the time in this video to ask you guys, what do you like to see as far as additives in soap or have questions on? Like I said earlier in the video, I like to do a lot of soaps with replacing the lye water solution with something else such as milk or coffee or wine in this case. So I just wanted to know what interests you guys, and then maybe I can formulate or find a recipe and show you guys how to do it on my YouTube channel. And I just want to thank you all for watching, and hopefully you subscribe to the channel as well because it does support me. For the topping on this soap, I did use some gold glitter dust from Nurture Soap, and I just kind of made a little design on top. I thought the gold would go really nice with the red. I forgot to show exactly the canister and everything like that, but I just mixed a little bit with a carrier oil so that it would spread nicely, and then later I added more because I wasn't happy with the results I was getting. I also wanted to add some roses just so the soap had an overall luxury and romantic feel to the soap. Lastly, I just wanted to show the final cuts of the soap. This has been curing for a little bit over 24 hours. It is still very sticky, so I'm going to come back to it and cut it later. You can see a little oil seeping out. That's partly because I added it on the top, and then when I was folding it in, it kind of left some oil residue. This is the other batch. It is very rustic, I guess you could say, and the color is very gross. It's a little bit hard, so like I said, I'm thinking something might be not quite right with the recipe. I'm going to let it cure though and see what the difference is between both soaps. And you can see the color difference naturally if you just did it without any color. So I just wanted to show that off. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.